Illinois fight song. Illinois may fly under the radar sometimes, but when the team storms out of the tunnel at Memorial Stadium, it's got that gritty, underdog intensity that hits differently, especially when the band starts playing Oski Wawa. The Oski Wawa. Yeah, the name's weird, but it's pure Illinois. It's been the school's fight song for over a century, and when the band starts cranking it out pregame, fans clap along, helmets get smacked, and energy spikes. It's old school college football, and it gives Memorial Stadium its own throwback vibe. The players, they take it seriously. When the team comes together at midfield, locked arm in arm or bouncing to the beat, you can feel that chip on the shoulder energy. Illinois may not always be a title contender, but they come out looking ready to prove a point. Indiana. Indiana football may not have the national spotlight every year, but their pregame traditions hit home. Literally. Heaps Rock and the Walk are two of the most meaningful rituals in the Big Ten, and they're tied to the heart of the program. Let's start with the walk. On game days, the Hoosiers march from the team buses down 17th Street toward the stadium, flanked by fans and the IU marching band. It's Indiana's version of the Tiger Walk or Dog Walk, but with their own vibe. There's a sense of community, school pride, and that Midwest warmth, even if the record doesn't always show it. But the real heart-tugger is Heaps Rock. Right outside the stadium, there's a big limestone rock dedicated to former head coach Terry Hepner, or Coach Hep. He was the one who brought energy and belief back to IU football in the mid-2000s before tragically passing away in 2007. Iowa's Wave. Alright, this one hits a little different. We're not talking about a hype anthem or a massive light show. We're talking about something way more powerful. The Iowa Wave. It's probably the most heartwarming tradition in all of college football. At the end of the first quarter, in every home game at Kinnick Stadium, every single person in the crowd, students, parents, players, coaches, refs, turns to the top of the stadium. That's where the University of Iowa's Steed Family Children's Hospital overlooks the field, and they wave. And the best part? It's a new tradition. It started in 2017, just because a fan suggested it on social media. The idea caught fire. Iowa embraced it instantly, and it's now become one of the most anticipated parts of any Hawkeyes home game. Even visiting teams love it. You'll see opponents wave too. It's one of the rare times you'll find 70,000 people all doing the exact same thing, with zero rivalry, zero trash talk. Maryland's Shell Touch. Maryland's a bit of a newer face in the Big Ten, but they've brought their own flavor from the ACC days. And that includes a solid pregame tradition built around the Terp Walk, the band, and of course, the Shell Touch. Before every home game, the players take the field by walking past and tapping a giant bronze replica of the Maryland Terrapin Shell. It's their version of Touch the Banner or Play Like a Champion. Symbolic, rooted in school identity, and a little reminder of the grit they're supposed to bring with them. And let's not forget, Maryland's one of the only schools that reps two state flags on game day. The Maryland flag flies everywhere, on uniforms, band gear, crowd signs, and even the end zones. It's got serious visual pop. Michigan Banner Touch. If you've ever watched a Michigan home game, there's one moment before kickoff that feels like the calm before the storm, when the team bursts out of the tunnel and leaps to touch that iconic maize and blue banner. Go Blue. M Club supports you. Simple message, massive meaning. And trust me, it's not just a decorative sheet of fabric. That banner has history. It's been part of Michigan game days since 1962, when the M Club introduced it as a motivational gesture during a rough season. It caught on fast, and now it's as sacred to Wolverines as the Victors or beating Ohio State. Michigan State's Spartan Walk. Michigan State might be known for defense and grit on the field, but before the first whistle ever blows, there's a quiet buildup that gives off serious gladiator energy. It's called the Spartan Walk. Every home game day, the team leaves their hotel and walks across campus to Spartan Stadium. It's not flashy. It's not piped in with smoke or lasers. It's old school. Focused, serious. You'll see the players in suits, headphones in, stone-faced. This isn't about hyping up the crowd. It's about locking in. The walk itself takes the team right through throngs of fans and students lining the route. People cheer, chant, even try to get a nod or a fist bump. But most players keep it tight. It's a mental ritual as much as a physical one. The Spartan Walk is about tradition and identity. Blue collar, no nonsense, just handle your business. There's something cool about a tradition that doesn't rely on pyrotechnics or viral antics. The Spartan Walk is subtle but powerful. It's a reminder that Michigan State football is about toughness, discipline, and walking into battle like a Spartan should. Minnesota's Row the Boat. Minnesota's not always the loudest or flashiest Big Ten team, but when it comes to traditions that have built up major momentum in recent years, the Gophers have carved out something truly unique, especially since P.J. Fleck arrived with his now famous Row the Boat mantra. Row the boat, it's not just a phrase, it's a full-blown culture now. Fleck brought it from his Western Michigan days, and it symbolizes something deeper: perseverance, team-first mentality, and never letting adversity knock you off course. Fans chant it, players live it. The stadium's dotted with oars, and when the Gophers storm the field, you can feel that unity. Before the game even starts, Fleck and his players sprint down the sideline together toward the student section. Helmets off, high-fiving, locked in. It's a tiny detail, but it sets a tone. This team's not just playing football, they're sending a message. We're together, we're different, and we're here for war. Nebraska's balloon release. If you ever went to a Nebraska home game before 2022, you probably remember this moment. And honestly, you probably looked forward to it more than the opening drive. I'm talking about the balloon release, one of college football's most visually iconic and now extinct game day traditions. As soon as Nebraska scored their first touchdown of the game, tens of thousands of fans, many of them clutching red balloons since before kickoff, would let them go all at once. And suddenly the sky over Memorial Stadium turned scarlet. It was beautiful, weirdly peaceful too. For a minute or two, you'd have this quiet moment where fans, players, and even broadcasters would just watch. It didn't matter if it was 7-0 or 49-7. That balloon release was pure joy. The tradition dates back to the 1940s, but was officially retired in 2022. The reasons? Kind of a mix. There were growing concerns about the environmental impact of thousands of latex balloons floating off into the wild. And during a helium shortage, the university had to make some tough calls. And balloons didn't make the cut. Northwestern. Okay, Northwestern's not the biggest or loudest program in the Big Ten, but they've carved out a few solid pregame traditions that feel totally them. Chill, smart, spirited, and low-key intense. It all starts with Wildcat Alley. This is where fans, students, and families gather in the plaza outside Ryan Field before the game, kind of like a family-friendly fan zone. The team walks through on their way into the stadium, and while it's not the most intimidating walk in college football, it's personal. Fans get right up next to the players for high fives, autographs, and photos. Think more backyard vibe than SEC riot, but it works for Evanston. And bonus points? You've got Lake Michigan and Chicago right nearby, so even if Ryan Field isn't the biggest house in the Big Ten, it's got that elite campus atmosphere that makes it feel like something special. Ohio State's dotting the I. You can talk about powerhouse programs, massive stadiums, or college football playoff wins all you want, but at Ohio State, nothing brings fans to their feet quite like the band. And Script Ohio? That's not just a tradition, it's a ritual. The Ohio State marching band takes the field pre-game. They start moving, slow, deliberate, precise, forming what looks like a bunch of jumbled letters. Then it all clicks. The O, the H, the swirl of the I, and O at the end. It's not just Ohio, it's Script Ohio drawn in human formation across one of the loudest stadiums in the country. And here's the best part, the dotting of the I. That moment is sacred in Buckeye culture. It's not just any band member who gets to do it. It's a senior sousaphone player, and it's a big honor. The crowd goes wild as the player high steps into place and bows. And sometimes, when it's a special game, they'll let a famous Ohioan do the honors. Think Jack Nicklaus, John Glenn, or even former coaches. This tradition dates back to 1936, and it's been going strong ever since. And yeah, I know, it's not a fireworks show or a buffalo sprinting across the field, but that's the beauty of it. It's tradition with a capital T. Clean, classy, perfectly executed every time. Penn State's whiteout. If you're talking about college football atmospheres that make your jaw drop, Penn State's whiteout is right at the top of the list. It's a full-on avalanche of noise and intimidation wrapped in 110,000 fans, dressed head to toe in white. Once a year, Penn State designates a whiteout game, usually their biggest home matchup. Think Ohio State, Michigan, maybe Auburn if they're feeling spicy. Fans get the memo and they go all in. The entire stadium turns into a sea of white. Now throw in the music. Zombie Nation, Seven Nation Army, and the student section bouncing like it's a rave. The decibel levels? Ridiculous. Opposing quarterbacks have talked about literally not being able to hear their own thoughts. And that's kind of the point. It's designed to rattle you before the first snap. The tradition started officially in 2004. Student only at first, it worked so well that by 2007 they opened it up to the whole stadium. And once you've seen it on TV, or better yet, in person, you get it. Even better, it's not just loud, it's emotional. When the team comes out of the tunnel, the lights pulse, the crowd swells, and for a split second it feels like Beaver Stadium is alive. It's one of those moments that gives you chills, even if you're just watching from your couch. And here's the thing, it's not just a good time for fans, it's a huge recruiting tool. Recruits walk into that atmosphere and think, yeah, I could play here. It's a spectacle with purpose. Purdue's drum. At Purdue, the stars of pregame aren't just on the football field. They're marching in with the world's largest drum. That's right, the big bass drum is practically a celebrity in West Lafayette. And when it rolls out onto the field, fans know it's time. The Purdue All-American Marching Band starts things off with a tight formation. They hype up the crowd, blast the fight song, and then comes the moment, that massive drum, which looks like it could be used in a stadium demolition, comes strutting across the turf with its own crew of handlers. People cheer like it's a quarterback. It's not just a gimmick. This thing has been a part of Purdue football since 1921, over 100 years of history, and it still draws attention every game. And the band's full pregame show? One of the most technically sharp in the country. You'll get formations, tosses, and that unmistakable boiler-up energy building throughout. Rutgers Cannon. Rutgers might not be the flashiest Big Ten program on the field, but when it comes to pregame energy, they've got a little Jersey swagger and a tunnel that literally spits flames. Here's how it starts. Players line up in the tunnel before kickoff, red lights pulsing, fans leaning over the edge. The team charges out through a wave of smoke and columns of fire. It's got all the cinematic hype you want before the first snap. Once Rutgers makes it onto the field, the ROTC cannon stationed in the end zone fires a loud echoing bang. It happens after every touchdown, but that first one, it sets the tone. Wisconsin's Jump Around. This is one for your bucket list. Jump around at Camp Randall Stadium. Wisconsin fans have turned what used to be a regular old break between quarters into one of the most legendary, rowdiest traditions in all of college football. At the end of the third quarter, everyone is quiet, just that eerie kind of stadium silence before the storm. And then, boom, Jump Around by House of Pain blasts through the speakers, and that's the cue. The entire stadium erupts, over 80,000 people, students, alums, grandparents, opposing fans who didn't know what hit them. They all start bouncing like they just found out Wisconsin was giving away free cheese curds. And let me tell you, this isn't some corporate-sponsored half-hearted routine. It's pure chaos in the best possible way. The student section looks like a trampoline park with red and white shirts. The upper decks, literally shaking. The players feed off it. The coaches even lean into it. Heck, some recruits have said it's the moment that sold them on coming to Madison. Now here's a fun twist. The tradition almost died back in 2003. Wisconsin officials were worried the stadium's structure might not be able to handle the bouncing. I mean, Camp Randall's old. It was built back in the 1910s, so engineers were called in to test it. Turns out, totally fine. UCLA's iconic Rose Bowl setting. UCLA's game day vibe is all about West Coast pride. When you're playing at the Rose Bowl, one of the most iconic venues in the world, you don't need a ton of bells and whistles. The setting is the show. At the stadium, the band takes over with the school's signature fight song, Sons of Westwood. The horns are crisp, the cadence is tight, and it all leads up to the iconic 8-clap. Bruin fans love the 8-clap. It's rhythmic, it's loud, and it builds that anticipation just before kickoff. UCLA. UCLA fight, fight, fight. It's like a rallying cry wrapped in tradition. When the team runs out of the tunnel, they're greeted by a backdrop that looks straight out of a postcard. Mountains, palm trees, the golden hour glow. No fire cannons needed, just tradition, music, and California cool. USC's Traveler. If you want drama, elegance, and a little Hollywood flair, USC's pregame tradition is exactly that. It all kicks off with Traveler, the white Andalusian horse ridden by a Trojan warrior in full armor. When the Trojans charge the field, Traveler gallops across the end zone, sword held high, crowd going wild. The players burst out of the tunnel, flags waving, band blaring, and the crowd chanting "Fight on." It's a tradition with serious swagger. What makes it pop even more? It's LA. The lights, the history, the skyline in the background. USC's pregame setup just looks cinematic. And when the band plays Conquest, you get goosebumps. Doesn't matter who you root for. Oregon's Duck. Let's start with the pregame vibe. The Ducks don't walk, they blast out of the tunnel in a sprint, through a cloud of smoke, past the motorcycle-riding Duck mascot, and onto the field like it's the Daytona 500. Everything's fast, everything's loud, everything's slick, just like the uniforms. Then comes the real showstopper, Shout by the Eiley Brothers, played between the third and fourth quarters. And listen, if you've never seen 54,000 people jumping and waving towels to a little bit softer now, you're missing out. The tradition started as a nod to the movie Animal House, which was filmed on Oregon's campus, but it's turned into one of the most joyful, high-energy traditions in the sport. The fans and players get into the moment dancing around the stadium. Washington's tailgating scene. There's something special about Husky Stadium in Seattle, and it starts before you even get to the gate. While most schools tailgate in parking lots, Washington fans take it to another level with sailgating. Yeah, fans roll up to the stadium by boat. You've got yachts and fishing boats and pontoons all packed in along Union Bay, just steps from the stadium. Flags waving, grills fired up, purple and gold everywhere. It's not just tailgating, it's floating fandom. And once the horn sounds and the band starts up, everyone heads to shore for game time. Washington's setting is one of the most breathtaking in the country. The pregame tradition taps into that, blending pageantry with pure noise. When the sun's setting behind the stadium, the lake's lit up with boats, and the Huskies hit the field. That's college football magic, Pacific Northwest style. And now it's your turn. Drop a comment. Which game day traditions do you look forward to during the college football season? If you enjoyed watching this video, click to subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.